Eastern.
Some emotional moments for President Obama as he visited Africa for the first time since taking office. He and the first family toured the Cape Coast Castle, which the British used as a slave dungeon. The president, whose father was from Kenya, said it was good for his daughters to see that history can take very cruel turns. Now, he compared the fortress to a recent visit to a German concentration camp. Director Regi has wanted to visit Africa since he was a child. His only knowledge of it came from history books and Saturday matinees. Well, Alan finally made the trip for his new documentary, 10 Days in Africa.
It's kind of funny. I really don't know where I'm going. Yet I feel sometimes I'm not sure of where I come from either. It's a funny feeling being between two places, these two continents, these two worlds.
Regi joins us now live from Washington to tell us about his journey to Africa and the resulting film. That's funny, because I went to Africa and I called it Journey to Africa. It really is life-altering, don't you think?
Yeah, it truly is, Don. It's really interesting. When I was a kid, the only thing I knew about Africa was sort of Roots and Tarzan movies. And what I found in my trip to Africa was that the Africans had only seen us through the lens of media, sort of the Huxtables and music videos and so on. So there was a cultural distortion there, and it's like once you can get past that, there is an amazing connection that can be made.
When you see the president there, and we saw the president's speech in Cairo, and you know what that did for the folks in that part of the world, and now you see him in Africa. Not only for Africans being seen on the world stage like that, but what do you think it means for African Americans to watch that and witness that? Does it help, or does it help the discussion? Does it help race in this country, how we feel about each other?
Well, I think that we're all inherently, specifically African Americans, connected to Africa, and to see the first African American president return to Africa is just really impactful on both sides of the water. I think that when he went to Ghana, he was basically sending a message to not only to Africa, but to the world that, you know, you can do anything. So, yeah, definitely.
And, you know, I just want to get your take on this. Obviously, I'm sitting here, you're sitting there, the president is in the White House. What do you think about the journey from Ghana, when you look at the castle, until now as African Americans? Talk to me about
the castle.
Journey.
Well, he went to Cape Coast, the slave castle in Cape Coast, and I'll tell you about a personal sort of experience that I had. We came to this door, which was called the Door of No Return, and through this door, the slaves walked on a plank to the slave ships to be taken away, never to return. Ergo, the Door of No Return. But as our guide took us through there, she said, well, this is called the Door of No Return, but I'm mistaken. How can it be called the Door of No Return when here you are? And right then and then, I had a sort of visceral, physical, emotional breakdown, and I kind of, right there and then, made a connection with Africa. It must be something in the DNA, something that I remembered, a collective memory that was passed on through you know, the generations, but I, right then and there, had a connection to Africa. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, you summed it up very well. How can it be called the Door of No Return when here you are?
Exactly.
Thank you, Regi.
My pleasure,
We
Don.
appreciate
Thank you.
it. This is one for the record books.